seriously, and I think that it wore off on all of us in different ways, you know.
The key skill I have long loved is one's diversity of thinking about the issue in question. This consists first of bringing to bear a range of modes of analysis, in other words, not just legal doctrine, but also philosophic and economic theory, and empirical research and data about the real-world problem. Second, and equally important in making one's final judgment, first spell out in the mind or writing the best arguments that can be made on the opposing sides, and then one can make a much more intelligent judgment about which is the better position, which I have often found to be somewhere in between them.
Well, my dad's been a teacher for me since I was quite young, but in particular, I remember from back when I was in early high school, I used to come back to Maine and we would sit on the dock and read the sports page in the newspaper, and my dad and I would we would talk about politics and sports and legal issues and policy, and we have, well, I was quite animated during a lot of those discussions, and my dad is not the animated type, but he would use the Socratic method in our discussions, and he really taught me how to think and how to problem solve, and he was quite inspiring in the sense that he taught you not to accept the common or the conventional wisdom, and to think for yourself and think through problems. And he didn't just teach you how to think, he had a tremendous amount of information in his head, so he could give you new information that you didn't know about certain topics, and so it would definitely teach you about what was going on in the world that you wouldn't otherwise know from reading the newspapers and that sort of thing. So that's sort of part of my experience with my dad.
I have had a host of such personal turning points, including when my father's personal friend, and the greatest ever Canadian legal figure, Bora Laskin, took me to lunch and persuaded me to give up getting my PhD in philosophy and instead go to law school and then teach and write about it, including drawing on my philosophy experience, which I used in writing my own thesis for a junior Harvard legal philosophy professor, who later used his own skills to win the case that put George Bush in the White House, Charles Fried,